Hey, what's up, guys? Mediacube podcast here. Ivan Roman. Tonight we're going to wind up the year 2020, as Roman put it when we were getting prepared. One of the most controversial years so far in the history of the 21st century. It really was.
And it's this controversial year is not. I think it's connected with pretty many fields of normal lives, and including YouTube. So I think this is something that we're going to discuss today.
Exactly. So first of all, lockdowns. There had been certain expectations in the industry about lockdowns. The first one had been that the amount of views would grow.
Yeah.
And it really happened. Can we now, looking back at March or April, say, make any proportion of how much did views grow?
Something like 30-40% of the audience grew since March, and it was growing up to the simplifications of lockdown policies in different countries. And then it just went into its normal flow, and I think by the end of the year, we can see the growth comparing with the 2019, but I think it's just the normal growth of any video platform, especially like YouTube, because YouTube is growing every year, and yeah.
Right. So there's no. You mean to say there's no direct correlation between lockdowns and pandemics and views growth if you take the whole year?
I think we can see the spikes in certain periods, in certain months. But yeah, taking a look back into the early years, 2019, 2018, it feels like a normal growth that was happening throughout the last 2 decades.
Right. So millions, if not to say billions of people are stuck at their homes. Content consumption grew immensely. I mean, 30 and 40% is a huge number. And really, my expectations had been that a lot of advertisers would have redirected their cash flows to YouTube or other video platforms like TikTok or maybe Instagram, and that it would have been a really lucrative opportunity for them to reach out for audiences they had never been reaching out for. And that actually YouTubers would have been earning much more than they had used to. But contrarily, it didn't happen. Why? And what actually happened?
Yeah, I think this is a good question, and I think you are the right person to answer it, because you could see it from the point of view of mediacube ads agency. But I think that pretty many brands that were putting a lot of money into online, into YouTube, into Google search, and etc., all about FMCG brands, all about something that is connected with offline activities, like concerts, like everything that cannot be done from home, cannot be done online. I think we could see the lowering of CPM's rate beginning from March, because pretty many advertisers who were spending big budgets, they just took it off, and they were trying to find different ways how to promote their brand, or just pause the activity, because it's just it made no sense for them to continue budgeting their advertising stuff like they used to do. And but I think pretty many things that were connected with online, it was a good move from their point of view to invest more into online advertising, and I think it paid off.
It really did. However, CPMs fell, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's just the vice versa situation. When we see the 30-40% growth from the point of view of viewership, we could see the lowering of CPMs the same rates, like 30-40%.
All right, got you. Yeah. Well,
how did it feel from the point of view of brand integrations?
Well, definitely yes. During the first wave in March, there was a significant decline in the number of placements and brand integrations, and a lot of brands just stopped any activities on YouTube and other platforms, TikTok and Instagram. And we're trying to, within our team, we're trying to guess why was it happening. Because again, to us, it seemed like a great opportunity for brands to keep afloat and to keep on reminding about themselves and reach out for new audiences because like the viewership grew. But then, having talked to some people from marketing teams of game dev studios and other industries, we figured out that actually during this first wave in March, nobody knew what would happen after. Like nobody could predict how the whole situation will roll.
Yeah.
So it was basically this decline in placements was basically due to risk management issues. Like guys preferred to keep their budgets and to see what will be going on later.
Yeah. To see how the situation is evolving.
Yes, exactly. They put everything on hold. However, there were and still are several brands, and in my idea they will win eventually, who kept on reminding of themselves.
Yeah.
And even
like they were trying to form their top of mind, and they just
exactly.
didn't.
So they especially airplane tickets aggregators. There were a couple of them who were all the time investing, even though the whole industry was in lockdown, planes just didn't fly. I mean, nobody traveled nowhere.
Yeah.
But still, they understood one simple thing, that the one who will be reminding of him or herself during these lockdowns will be the first to win after the world opens up again.
Yeah, that's a very good thing for them to do.
Yeah, and the investments, since CPMs fell and YouTubers' rates fell as well, it was a really smart thing to do, to invest. Maybe not as heavy as they used to, but still to keep afloat and to keep reminding people that, hey, here we are. We're ready to open up. We're ready to take you on board once the world opens up. And I guess this will really pay off when the world opens up again. However, during the second wave that we're undergoing right now,
which is much bigger.
Yes, but nobody gives a fuck about risk management right now.
I think everyone is just fed up with all this.
Right, exactly. So they're spending tons of their money,
especially now in December,
absolutely no risk management whatsoever. I mean, they have to spend this money, and they're spending this money at the end of the year. So right now it's a lot of work, really. But
maybe they saved some money during the first wave, and now they need to close the year by spending the rest of it.
Right, and probably there were certain things that influenced this, like there are vaccines right now. So even in terms of risk management, everybody understands that maybe it is a matter of several months or half a year that it will be over, and so right now is the correct time to go back with marketing budgets. Yeah,
let's touch upon this the topic how YouTube reacted to all this. That happened.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that we should mention is that the educational field of online education, specifically, grew a lot because pretty many online schools have been just created this year, and they started to spend a lot of money on online promotion, and I think they gained a lot because when people are in a lockdown, they're trying to find something to keep their brain work, to learn something new, and when
to use their time.
Yeah, that's right. And at the same time, how YouTube reacted to this, and they also started to promote all kinds of educational stuff, and they really started to promote different online activities, and they were telling us as a network that we should also somehow incentivize, somehow help creators that are going into some high-quality educational stuff. And when someone is talking about COVID, when someone is talking about in the correct way how to how to battle the pandemic, how to do certain things, what to do, what not to do, and they try to do their best to also to kind of put some censorship on the things that are correct, that are not correct from the point of view of different approaches, how to struggle with the COVID and the pandemic. And they also try to promote different kinds of online courses, different YouTubers that were kind of reloaded their channels into something educational, and it's also a good thing from them.
Well, really, yeah. EdTech was actually one of the industries that profited a lot from this, really. I could remember like several dozens of brands emerging out there, like new brands, new EdTech brands, courses, all kinds of professions. I mean, really starting from web design up to music creation, everything. I mean, and it was really a great time for them. Yeah.
And at the same time, YouTube tried to promote a lot the online streaming on the platform, both educational, gaming, etc. It does not really depend on the area where the creator works on, but they just try to promote all kinds of live streaming. Especially, it's about those things that have not been covered before on YouTube. They try to put all the content that used to be on TV or used to be offline only. They tried to help live streaming, for example, football leagues that have never been on the platform. They try to incentivize them to go online, and they really help them to grow their channels a lot.
Mm-hmm. And as far as I know, they really did a lot to promote Superchats, right?
Yeah. They really lowered the minimum requirements to have the ability to receive Superchats and Super Stickers during live streaming and during premieres. And they also lowered the requirements, eligibility towards the sponsorships, memberships. And now it's just all you need to do is to have advertising-friendly content, to be a YouTube partner program member. Mm-hmm. So it means that you just need to reach the number of 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 views per last year. And that's enough to apply for memberships and for Super Chats.
Oh, that's too low. And like the former requirements had been like?
For memberships initially it was like 100,000. For Super Chats, like 30,000 subscribers. Mm-hmm. And now it's just going down, and the requirements are going down, and pretty many channels now can apply for this right after they have been approved as a member of YouTube Partner Program.
Right, but why is it necessary to be part of a YouTube Partner Program to
YouTube Partner Program is just it also means that you can monetize your channel.
All right, I see.
So it's the same thing. When you apply for YouTube Partner Program, it means that YouTube tells you that your channel is advertiser friendly, and you can monetize your content. And right from this moment, you can also use Super Chats and sponsorships.
Right, I see. Another interesting thing that happened on YouTube, and not only on YouTube actually in the history of humanity, was the US election.
Yeah, the latest one.
Right, and there is certain ambiguity about YouTube's reaction to this election, and precisely to Biden's victory.
Yeah, they actually have created a separate article in their support, in their terms of service. They call it, let me read it aloud.
Yeah.
They call it Presidential Election Integrity Policy. Yeah, they try to get rid of all attempts to say that the elections were fraudulent, and they just made up a list of different things that you cannot do. You cannot discourage voters to vote. You cannot allegedly think that there has been some kind of fraudulent activities during the elections, and they're going to just remove content like that before the 20th of January 2021. And after the 20th of January 2021, they're going to give the strikes on this content. YouTube community guidelines strikes
Jesus.
when you're trying to tell something wrong about the elections.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Mr. Trump, but I mean, these actions is not something you would expect from YouTube as a platform promoting freedom of expression.
Feels like that YouTube
creativity.
is the biggest hater of him, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's very controversial decision, but I think it was highly speculated in the US, and I think they just
It was
tried to do everything.
Absolutely, but it was highly speculated as well among U.S. rivals, like in Russia, could be in China. I'm not much into Chinese news, but still, I'm pretty much sure that Chinese guys on the news went like, "Huh, come on, YouTube is implying censorship. Wow, wow." America is a dictatorship.
Yeah,
right.
because
fine. Like in Russia, they did in Russia. They really did it in Russia.
Yeah, they applied it only to the US elections, which seems to be very selective, and I don't think something like that can be done, because I think it's definitely you should not promote scam, spam, or deceptive practices. That's how the article is called. But there is also the room for opposite meaning, for opposite opinion.
Freedom of expression, whatever you think. I mean,
you're right.
I believe, my opinion, that this is something YouTube will be negatively remembered for,
Possibly.
for the rest of the year, definitely, maybe for the rest of their.
I think that I think that the majority of cases like that, when the channels are striked, when some videos are being removed from the platform, they're going to escalate, I think, after the 20th of January.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll see. Because why 20th of January? Because it's the day of presidential inauguration in the US.
Yeah, got you. Right, that was and still is a huge issue, but I want to discuss another one. It was on the news and it was widely debated as well, and it also has to do with censorship. The news went like, YouTube will not allow you to post comments containing certain words.
Yeah.
Now, if a user writes a comment with offensive words that the system recognizes as such, they will receive a warning, and it is assumed that they will quickly change their mind about leaving a harmful comment. However, if such a comment is still published, YouTube will automatically move it to the Held for Review section, so that the creator of the video can sort it out for themselves. If the channel owner does nothing with such a comment, then after 60 days, the record of it will be deleted completely. I mean, it's really nothing compared to what they do with election-related content.
Yeah, when we discussed this thing some time ago with you, it was kind of, wow, this is censorship.
Yeah.
Why do they do this? Because, we also, discussed the thing that the level of how these words can be considered very rude in different countries, in different languages.
Yeah.
It differs a lot.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Really.
And if it's coming from the US office, US YouTube office, how can they censor the words like the F words, the B words, and etc.? And because it's a part of a culture. It's not like in Russian, where the rude word is a very rude word, and you cannot use it on television. You cannot use it. It feels differently, absolutely differently, and and when it's applied in the US for the comments in English language, it feels like absolutely different thing.
Right, so let's be winding up.
Yeah.
So the year 2020 was really tough, if not to say more. But YouTube reacted to life-changing events in humans' lives differently. Like, there were good things with promoting education content, with promoting streaming, but there were ambiguous things, if not to say more, regarding elections-related content, and it still is going on.
Yeah, it's going to escalate a lot.
Right. And censorship regarding comments containing certain words. Because really they try to apply artificial intelligence, definitely artificial intelligence is at the moment not at the level to recognize contextual differences and cultural differences between different cases of words used. So it is also something that they should be working on. But still, we believe 2021 will be much better than the year 2020.
From any point of view.
That's right. So, Merry Christmas, everybody, again, and Happy New Year. Have a great year ahead.
Have a great coming year, guys.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Ivan Roman, mediacube podcast. Happy New Year, everybody.